Alright, hey y'all. This video is Hecate's Descent Part 2. I know it's like way overdue, y'all. The reason why I've taken so long to do these videos is because I've still been learning it all myself. So I didn't want to like misinform you guys or miscommunicate what's being taught to me by Hekate. I didn't want to turn around and tell y'all some misinformation or anything like that, because I didn't understand it right. So I've been waiting till I understood certain things before I really moved on with telling you guys all this. Alright, y'all. So this part 2 to Hecate's descent. If you remember in part 1, I talked about the descent of the goddess Ishtar / Inanna from the Sumerian, Babylonian, Akkadian, whatever that culture is. I don't mean to be disrespectful or whatever, but I mean it's a story that's relevant here. So anyways, hopefully you guys read up on that and did your own research a little bit to understand that better in your own way. Okay, so in this part I'm going to be talking about this being, I hate to call it by the name Lucifer or the devil or any of these Christian words, because that's just like a whole lot of baggage that comes with that. That's not true to what Hecate's been teaching me about this being. In fact, when I encountered this being myself, when I asked it what its name was, it told me it was Hecate's first son. That's all it said, and then I had to be like, so are you Lucifer, are you the devil? And it was like, yes, you can call me by that too as well, but the title or the name that it gave to me was Hecate's first son. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about Hekate. If you guys watch my past videos about who and what Hekate is to me, she's the cosmic soul. She's the Holy Spirit of the Christians, how they call it that, of Gnosticism. She's the cosmic soul, Sophia, goddess of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. She's basically the soul of the entire universe, of everything. She's the cosmic fire, the first emanation from God, the primordial God, which is like chaotic and shit. She's the first projection from that brings order to the whole rest of the created universe, which is all in her womb. Y'all go read this book. Okay? Hekate Sotera. I cannot stress this enough that y'all all need to read this. If you really want to know who and what Hekate is, if you really want to know the deep philosophical understanding of Hekate, read this book and it will explain it all to you. It explains when she was first created and everything in here. Like, this is a really excellent book. Okay. Study of Hecate's roles in the Chaldean oracles. Okay. And related literature. Alright, so y'all read this and you're going to understand. I mean, it's going to go way more in depth about Hekate than I'm going to in this video about her descent. But y'all read that if you haven't already, so you can understand Hekate correctly. Okay, because she's not this dark crone goddess and all this as she's portrayed now and all this. Okay, so anyways, she's the cosmic soul, the Holy Spirit. Everything that exists in our universe is a shard or a piece of her one soul. Okay, it's very important that you understand all this and how this works. So once again, like I said, read that book because it will break it down for you and make you understand it way better than I'm going to break it down in this video, because that's just one part of what this video is really about, which is Hecate's descent. It's not about her creation. This video is about her descent. Okay, so first of all, we have this being Hecate's first son, as it revealed itself to me. And basically, I took all these notes here. I'm going to show y'all February 4th. Okay, that's when I wrote this down. That's when I encountered this Lucifer being, which I wrote it as Lucifer up here, but like I told y'all, it did not call itself that. It called itself Hecate's first son. I'm the one who put the label Lucifer on it, because I associated that, obviously, to Lucifer and his fall and all that. Okay. So, basically, this being, it became corrupted. It wanted... Okay, in the natural cycle, when Hekate creates something, she ultimately then has to destroy it and recycle that energy back into herself, because like I told y'all, everything she creates is a part of her own soul. So she has to ultimately then recycle and take that back in to keep creating from it. And this is the law in science of the universe, that no energy or matter is ever created or destroyed. It's simply just transformed over and over again. It's recycled. And the Chaldean oracles, they said that God is He having a spiral form and the wings of a vulture. But what they're saying is that, compare that to a vulture. What does that really mean? What is the symbolism of a vulture? A vulture is a great recycler of nature. They don't hunt food like other birds of prey. They wait till something dies, they find it, and then they eat it and they recycle it. Where they could eat a rotted, decaying corpse and stay perfectly healthy, because that's just how their digestion and all that, and their immune system and everything, they can eat fucked up shit and not get sick. So whereas an other animal, if they try to eat something that was like disgusting like that, they would get sick and die probably themselves. So the vulture is like the great recycler of nature. Okay, this is why the Buddhist monks and all that, when they die, they're not buried, they're not cremated. I'm sorry if I might have said that wrong. I'm not sure if it's the Buddhist monks actually, but there was a type of monk and religion where they, when they die, they just set their dead out on this giant slab of rock and they let the vultures eat it, because they knew that that's the recycling process taking place. Okay, but anyways, and then the spiral symbolism, you know, it's all repeating, but it's repeating in different... Whereas a circle has a starting point and then it comes right back to the same starting point and repeats again, a spiral has a pattern, but each time that pattern manifests, it's going to be slightly different. Okay, so understand that. That's what they're saying in the Chaldean oracles when they talk about God like that. Okay, so anyways, it's just recycling. All this energy is recycling and remanifesting in new, different ways and stuff. Okay, so this being, Hecate's first son, it did not want to go through that process. It wanted to stay as it was. It didn't want to die and be recycled, basically. When it all comes down to it, this being wanted to live forever. It wanted to be like Hekate, okay? So here's the story where you have in the Bible where it's about Lucifer wanting to be like God, and it fell and got cast out of heaven and all this. It's kind of a true story, but they just say it way wrong in the Bible. This being wanted to live forever. Now, whether this being's evil inherently or not, I'm not even going to go into that, because I know that there's Luciferian witches and stuff like that, and who am I to ultimately say what's right or wrong? I'm just telling you all what I've been taught by Hekate, that this being wanted to live forever, and so she, I guess, just allows it. I mean, this is also part of what I didn't want to do these videos yet for, because I really don't understand all this yet myself, but I just want to let y'all know that this is a part that I still don't really fully understand about this being, and why she allows it to keep going like it is. But okay, let's keep going about this being. Okay, so this being wanted to live forever. It did not want to get recycled. It did not want to die and get recycled into some other form of energy and some other consciousness. It wanted to stay what it was. So, incarnate on Earth, it created another dimension. It created another realm that it could then inhabit forever. When it died, it knew that, I'm just going to call it an it, because, like I said, I hate to call it Lucifer and offend some Luciferian witches, because, you know, it did not call itself that to me. Okay, so, this being didn't want to die, so it came to Earth when it was its time to incarnate, and it basically set up these grid systems all over the whole Earth, okay, and You're going to see this manifested as like the Bermuda Triangle or the Dragon's Triangle. These different places where basically our realm overlaps with another realm and shit disappears into that realm. Okay. So this realm, it's a false realm. It was not created by Hekate nor God. It was not created by the natural order. It was created by Lucifer. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to call him that. It was created by this being, Hecate's first son, who did not want to die and be recycled. It wanted to live forever as the same consciousness that it was incarnate as. So it created through spells and magic and all this stuff, and not only through that, but it manipulated, excuse me, I keep burping. It manipulated a bunch of people who were living or whatever on the earth at the same time as it, and mind control them and shit to build these false grid systems and to follow the same kind of thinking that it had. So it basically introduced a new type of consciousness to humanity that could think separately and selfishly to want to live forever and stuff and not be recycled and everything, not be transformed and not go back to God. Okay, so in this other realm, when this being died, it then inhabited this other realm, and this is the Underworld realm, you guys. That's what the Underworld is. If you think about what the Underworld means, it means underlying. Okay, it's underlying the very same place that we are, the very same time and space that the earth is in, and we're all living on earth. This false underworld realm is in the same time and space. It occupies the same time and space because its whole existence is maintained by this grid that's on the earth itself. Okay, so understand that the underworld exists right here, right now. It's no longer physical. It's still here, okay? It's just not physical anymore. It's in another realm. Okay. Now, if you do read the Bible, okay, y'all, I know I'm a gray witch. I know this is a witchcraft channel, but I still am an eclectic witch. I read from any spiritual teachings and anything that I feel like I need to read and understand it, I will. Even if I don't accept everything of what it's saying in there, there might be some seeds of truth in there that I can piece together for myself. Or with Hecate's help. Okay, so I do read the Bible. I do understand all that. Okay, so once again, even in the Bible, it says that God created our world out of other dimensions. It basically says that it created, I can't quote this directly, y'all, forgive me, but it says in the Bible that God created our reality out of other realities that we cannot see or perceive in any way. Okay? So just understand that other dimensions are real, y'all. They do exist, and one of them is this underworld dimension that is a false pocket dimension that was created as a place to basically be separate from Hekate and God forever. Okay. This being did not want to go back into Hecate's oneness, so it created a false realm where it could eternally stay separate. Okay. The problem with this, here's the whole part where it comes in that this character is evil or bad or whatever, y'all. Once again, I'm not going to sit here and say who's right or wrong and all this, but I'm just going to tell y'all what was told to me. Here's where it comes a problem where this character, Hecate's first son, comes into conflict with Hekate. Now, you can say whoever's evil or whoever's good, whatever you want to do, but either way, they're in conflict with each other, and this is the reason why. Okay. I told y'all that Hekate creates everything out from her soul. Everything is a piece of her soul, and she recycles it back and creates something new. Okay? That's because Hecate's a finite being, okay? She's not infinite. She's not the primordial God. She was created out from that, the first emanation from it. If you think about it, y'all, even just logically, if there's an infinite God or whatever, how could it even start to define itself and create a defined universe? Okay, because it's infinite and eternal. Anything that it would try to create of itself that's not infinite and eternal would contradict its whole being. It wouldn't make sense. So it created Hekate as a finite version of itself to then start creating a finite universe. Okay? So I hope y'all understand that part too. Okay, so okay, let me think about this for a minute. Okay, so Hekate is finite, y'all. She's not an infinite being. There's a certain amount of her cosmic soul that exists, okay? That's why she keeps recycling, okay? If she had infinite power to create, she wouldn't recycle anything. It wouldn't be necessary. She recycles it because it's necessary to keep taking back in parts of herself so that she can keep creating, okay? So understand that. That's how that works. Okay, so you're probably already starting to put the pieces together now. This is the reason why what this Hecate's first son being comes into conflict with Hekate herself, okay? Almost called it Lucifer again. Okay, this being is a part of Hecate's soul, okay? And every other being that gets trapped in this underworld realm is also a piece of Hecate's soul, okay? So think about what that's doing. When more and more souls are getting trapped in this realm, more and more pieces of Hekate are getting trapped there, and she's not being able to take those pieces back to her to recycle again, okay? So, in essence, if this was allowed to continue indefinitely, this being would ultimately kill Hekate, okay? By breaking her into separate parts that's not cohesive anymore. There's not a consciousness that unifies all of it anymore. If this being is allowed to keep trapping souls there, inevitably all of Hekate would be trapped there in separate shards. Okay, so you understand how this works. That's why it comes into conflict with Hekate. That's why Hekate has to descend every 2,500 years or so. Now, it's not the same each time. She told me that it's not exactly every 2,500 years. It's whenever she wants to descend. But roughly, it's every 2,500 years or so that she gets to the point where she kind of has to do it because she's running thin on creative energy anymore. So she has to go down there and recharge. Okay, so that's wherein the whole thing of Hecate's descent, the whole reason why it takes place. Hekate has to go to the underworld once it reaches to a critical point where there's so many people down there, so many souls and pieces of her are trapped there, that she finally has to be like, okay, you know what, I gotta go down there and get my shit back so I can keep creating the rest of the world, okay? And I'm gonna get to that point of why it's important that she keeps creating. Okay, so that's what it comes down to, y'all. She's going down there to recollect these pieces of her own self that have been trapped there, okay? Now, how do you get trapped in the underworld? Okay, that comes down to your choices when you're alive. When you're in your lifetimes and stuff, either you embrace the light, you become enlightened, which basically means that you are a vessel to the Holy Spirit, to use Christian terms, or you're a vessel to Hekate. You have to become consciously part of her again while you're alive already, and then whenever you die, you'll just go right back to her because you already consciously made yourself part of her again. You've already surrendered your mind and your whole consciousness to her again while you were alive. So it's like you already put your consciousness in heaven, so to speak, and then when you die, your consciousness is just there already. So it's the same thing. You can consciously unite yourself in oneness with Hekate while you're alive, or like I said, I mean, it's beyond religious terms, you guys. it doesn't really